Hello everyone, it is Harvard Street Productions. I'm Jack.
I'm Max.
And I'm Joe.
And we are 2 days out from filming our short film routine. We are just setting up our cubicles to make sure they all fit for the office scene. And yeah, this is our first ever short film, so we can't wait to take you on our journey.
Cut.
Cut!
That's a wrap! It's not a wrap yet, we haven't watched it.
So, as you can see, we're back at EngagerCore Studio. It's the next day. It's 12 o'clock right now. We're starting to set up our first scene, which is the office. Instead of showing you guys what you guys probably are getting pretty bored of at this point, watching all these behind the scenes, is all these time lapses of all these setups. We figured, go ahead, cut to the chase. Without further ado, all right. So we've got the office almost all set up. We're just missing one thing. All right, perfect. We got everything set up. I'm all dressed. We're about ready to start filming. So let's take you guys through this really quickly.
Just say we're backlighting this scene with an Aperture 300D. We're putting it through CPO and diffusion.
Okay. All right, guys. So first things first, we are backlighting our scene with the Aperture 300D. We have a CTO on it. And then we have a diffusion panel. Jack, hit it. Bam. Right, so now we're in our cubicles. You can see back here that we have an accent light. We're using a Lume Cube. And then bring you on over here to Stanley's desk. We've got our practical key light, which actually we had to get a little creative. Put a little piece of paper and a cutout of a circle so that way we could diffuse it. We were getting a little bit too hard of shadows on my face. And then overall, this is an office scene, so what we really wanted to get is we wanted to use these practical overhead lights to give that green toppy lighting that's just so gross feeling in an office.
And we are doing audio for the first time on the shoot. So we have a shotgun mic hooked up to a broom handle and gaff taped on there accordingly.
Resourceful.
Very resourceful.
Really quickly, just wanted to mention the secret word. Basically, we threw it in this dialogue scene right here because we wanted to show that our boss doesn't care so much about Stanley. He cares more about getting back to work. But just wanted to touch on that really quickly. Let's get back into the video.
Okay, so we're setting up for this last scene. And the way it's gonna work is our boss, whose real name is Tyler, by the way, will come by and slap the papers on the desk. And then he's gonna run around to kill the main lights, while Max and I will be manning the jib. Stanley will be falling onto the bed, at which point he'll shut his light off. And that will be the end. Well, it's gonna be better in the actual film. Let's see it.
We just wrapped up with our last shot for the office scene. Now it's time to break down. This is like kind of the meat and potatoes of our film, of our short film. This is like where all the dialogue happens, where a lot of the plot thickens. Right now, we're gonna work hard at taking this down and building up the coffee shop next. So, see you in a minute.
Striking. Oh, it is slow as power. Let's just see. Let's just see. Yep, there it goes. Were you rolling on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you just witnessed is sadly what our rented 300D is doing. We think what the problem is, if you come under here and if we turn this on again, also it's on the force fan setting. If we turn this on, you can see only one of the fans starts to spin up.
Yeah, you can see the one in the front there doesn't
And
spin.
it died. So our rental house thought was that it was overheating, and I believe them. I think just one of these fans died. So sadly, we aren't going to be able to use this light for the rest of our film. We got to use it in one setup, and yeah.
Great light.
It's a great light. Okay, this is our coffee shop scene. Right here, we have our CTO, a Roscoe CTO, on our softbox. Back there, we have a Sunpack accent light going up on the wall where we have our string lights too to give us some nice bokeh. If we come around here, we have our 10 by silk that is diffusing our 2 mole lights. And we're raking the back wall with our lease spot. We also have the palm tree in front of that to give a nice kind of cookie effect on the back wall there.
All right, so we're about to film our cafe scene. So what we're just gonna do is we're gonna roll the camera and probably have like 5 or 6 takes in there. Yeah, we're just gonna roll and see what happens.
Scenes Bravo 2, 5, 8, and 11. Take 1. Marker. I wasn't rolling.
It's a long guy. Alright, welcome to Stanley's room. Stanley is a slob, as we can see. But, other than Stanley being a slob, let's talk about lighting. We got a little softbox acting as our moonlight. This is kind of where we picture our windows in Stanley's room. And the moonlight is shining in, giving that bluish tone. Back here, behind this dresser of Stanley's, that's covered in who knows what. We got an LED panel as our accent light. Our other accent light is underneath here. We got a Lume Cube. I don't know if you're able to see or not.
No.
Stanley's too messy, so I don't know. Last thing lighting this room is our practical, which is the lamp next to Stanley's bed. Yeah, Stanley's a slob. Alright, other than the fact that Stanley's a slob, the reason why we did this is because what I've learned throughout my life is that your room is normally a reflection on how you carry yourself throughout your daily life. Stanley obviously has a very messy room. Stanley carries himself poorly throughout his daily routine, going to the coffee shop, going to work, and then coming back home and just being a slob. What this really focuses on is the fact that Stanley's missing his wife, and behind closed doors, he just lives how he actually would, which is very messy. The reason because of that is that he's missing his wife and he's lost all hope because he's so depressed without her. I guess I'm saying it. All right, so we just took a take where I moved from the bed to the doorway. The first take that we did, way too dark when we started getting over here by the door. So what we did was we took a Roscoe gel and we took our Lume Cube inside of here and we stuck it onto this door frame. They're magnetic, super helpful. But yeah, just gave that little touch of blue light from the moonlight and the room feel to really just sell this shot, and I really like it.
Okay, so we're in our final setup of the film.
Tell them what time it is.
What time is it?
It is 11:19.
11:19. We got here at 9:30 this morning. We're feeling it. But okay, so in Stanley's living room, our lighting setup is as follows. Right here on his side table to this couch, we have our practical lamp here. If we come on back over in our dining area here, we're arming in a softbox over the table to give a nice overhead feel. And if we come over here, this is our window. That's wicked overexposed, but this is our window. We have one of our Roscoe gels on the side, taped to the wall here because we don't want to melt them, putting them on this 1K. If we come around here, you'll notice Stanley has a nice blue light shining on him. That is our television. So over here, we have our TV sitting on the ground. The mistake that I see a lot is, and I almost made this mistake with this film, but Jack over here came up with the solution. I always see solid blue light coming from a TV or a monitor or something, but it's always shifting. There's always a picture on it moving around. It's never gonna be one solid color. So our option is to take 2 Roscoe gels and maneuver them around in front of the light. And if we take a look over here, you can see that gives a really nice flickering effect to the face, like it's an actual TV. So yeah, that is our lighting setup for this we're gonna flip the set, so it's not our final lighting, but this is our final setup. I think this is my most convoluted camera setup yet. We're shooting this on the Sony a7S. We have our Rokinon Cine DS 35mm. If we come over here to the back of the rig, you can see our beautiful Ninja Flame It's allowing us to pull 4K ProRes HQ out of the A7S, and to attach that to our rig, we have probably my favorite piece of kit. These little small rig mini magic arms. Those things are the best, rock solid. And if we come over here, the whole thing is being powered by this V-mount battery. We have that going into the Atmos, and we have that going into the Sony. And you may be wondering, why is there a camera hanging off the side of the camera?
Me too.
And that is where we get into our final scene that we're shooting. It's the climax of the film. So as you saw, there was a pretty hefty rumble and a gun went off. Now we wanted to do a practical, or as practical as we can, of a muzzle flash without using a real gun. What we came up with was to use a camera flash, because that would give us one of those like half of the frame with the rolling shutter, like half of the frame muzzle flash, give it a little bit more of a real feel. So we have a Rosco CTO on top of this flash. It is going to be triggered by our actor over there. And yeah, the whole thing is sitting on these Miller sticks with our Manfrotto head. And yeah, let's get into this scene.
All right, so I obviously am going to be the intruder. So let me walk you through the scene. Over here, we've got our practical that is now broken by me. We have a mattress because we're gonna do a little stunt. So right here, we just got a softbox through diffusion for our moonlight, and walk you over here. And up above the dinner table over here, we have a Lume Cube with a gel on it, just to give some extra little accent light. Yeah, we're gonna have a fake muzzle flash going off, so this is gonna be fun.
So we just finished up, we just got our last shot. They're starting to pack up some things. It is 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired. Everyone is tired.
Yep.
But such a pleasure making this. Had tons of fun. Totally recommend it. But we'll see you guys when we start editing. Hey, really quickly, just wanted to talk about the sound design. Wanted to mention that pretty much every sound and song in this video was created by us inside of our booth. We actually made them out of the cubicle walls from the office scene. We found out that they did pretty good for sound. So we even went to a gun range up in New Hampshire to get some sound clips for the fight scene. In total, we pretty much created every sound but about 3 or 4 sounds in the video, just because they weren't practical. We weren't able to get them, so we had to reach out to other places to find those, and I just wanted to add that in there.
So I'm making sound effects for the television for our living room scene. So right now I'm doing a stadium sound effect. We started by recording some commentary on a horse race. So we have this.
We've got Dusty coming around the final corner.
To make that sound like it's coming through a television, I just threw a little equalization on it. So now we have this.
We've got Dusty coming around the final corner.
And to actually sell that effect, we had to add a crowd in here. So without any effects, this is what that sounds like. Garbage. So if we throw our effects on, which is a saturator, some reverb, a doubler, and a little vinyl sound effect, and an EQ3, then we get this. Now if we pair that with our commentary, we get something that actually sounds kind of good.
We've got Dusty coming around the final corner.
So how many sounds in total is that?
I believe it's around 58 just for the stadium.
That concludes our BTS video. Had tons of fun. Definitely was an experience, but right now, as you can see, the office is messy. Just got done with everything pretty much, and we're submitting it later. Thank you so much. We just wanted to thank all the judges for watching it. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch what we created. Thank you to all the sponsors. We love using all of your gear, and to those that we don't have, we can't wait to get your gear. So thank you so much. Had tons of fun, and I hope you enjoy our first film. No, I forget what I was supposed to say. Something about having a fun time.